Hello children, welcome to this video of chapter number 9, Up You Go of class 5. This chapter is related to Madam Sangeeta's experience of Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Uttarkashi. So in this video, we will learn about details of adventure sport, rock climbing and rappelling, and Madam Sangeeta's experience of the last day of the camp. Adventure sports are known by different names, like that of action sports or extreme sports. So before we understand or learn about various examples of adventure sports, we should understand what are adventure sports. Adventure sports are activities perceived as involving a high degree of risk. These activities often involve speed, height, a high level of physical exertion, and highly specialized gear. Since it involves a high degree of risk and it can be fatal at times, so it is performed in the presence of an experienced person or a trainer. Adventure sports, rock climbing. February 10th, 1984. The group had to trek for 15 kilometers to reach Tekla village, which was at a height of 1600 meters. There they met Colonel Ram Singh, who was their instructor for rock climbing. So here we see that even in Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Uttarkashi, Madam Sangeeta had to perform all the adventure sports and the activities under the guidance of an instructor. I know you all are very keen to learn about rock climbing. So here we are. Climbing is a leisure or a competitive sport that consists of climbing up a natural rock face or an artificial climbing structure using bare hands and light equipment like that of a rope. Climbing is the activity of using one's hands and feet, or indeed any other part of the body, to ascend a steep object. Ascend means to climb a steep object. It is done both for recreation, to reach an inaccessible place, or for its own enjoyment. Inaccessible means some place which is not easy to reach. And professionally, as part of activities such as maintenance of a structure or military operations. Rock, ice, and tree climbing all usually use ropes for safety or aid. Pole climbing and rope climbing were amongst the first exercises to be included in the origin of modern gymnastics in the late 18th century and early 19th century. Before we climb a rock, it is very essential for us to know the various tips and techniques of rock climbing. So let us pay attention to certain tips which are mentioned over here, which we have to keep in mind while rock climbing. First of all, we should observe the rock carefully. This will give us an idea of the type of surface which we are going to climb. And at the same time, it will help us to identify the places where we can put our hands and feet, where we can hold the rock properly. Next is keep your body straight. Do not bend your back. If we bend our back forward or backward, it will not give us a proper support and we might not be able to climb properly and have to put in more efforts to go up. Another thing is that keep your body at an angle of 90 degree. This will again help us to climb the rock or walk on the rock as we are walking on a flat surface. Otherwise, what will happen? We will keep on swinging from one end to the other as we are attached with a rope while we are rock climbing. So, all these tips have to be kept in mind and then only we can enjoy the sport to the best.
The various equipments required for rock climbing are harness, rock climbing shoes, chalk bag, dynamic climbing rope, delay device, helmet, sling, quick drawers, nuts, hexes, SLCDs.
When we climb a rock, that activity is called as rock climbing. But when we descend down a rock, it is known by a different name and that is called as rappelling. Rappelling is a controlled descent down a rock with the help of a rope. Now, the climbers use this technique when they have to climb down a cliff or a slope which is so steep and dangerous to descend without protection. So, they do it with the help of a rope and they climb down very slowly and patiently.
What type of path is found in the mountains? In the mountains, the path is rocky and rugged, uneven and narrow. It is so narrow in places that people cannot walk in groups. Rather, they have to walk in a queue. Camping in the snow. 18th February 1984. The group was at the height of 2,134 meters. Everyone was busy putting the tents. The wind was so strong that they tried to put the tent from one side. The wind flew it from the other. But somehow they managed to put the tents. Then they dug drains around the tents. Do you know why drains are dug around the tents? This is basically done to keep the insects away. As they were hungry, they collected some firewoods and stones to make chulha and cooked some food. After meal, they collected the waste and cleaned the camp. It is very essential for us to keep our environment clean and not leave the dirt behind us after we go for camping or for picnic. The group members got into their sleeping bags filled with soft feathers, which helped them to keep themselves warm, and soon they fell asleep. In her diary, Madam Sangeeta wrote about the last day of the camp. She wrote, 21st February 1984. We were all getting ready for the campfire, enjoying telling jokes, laughing, singing, and dancing. Around midnight, Brigadier Gyan Singh called out my name and announced my name for the Best Performance Award. Madam Sangeeta was so overjoyed that tears rolled down her face. She could not express her feelings in words.
Why do we require extra energy on mountains? Mountains are rocky and uneven and have narrow passages going up and down. To move on such a surface, we require extra energy. Moreover, the air on the mountain is thin. To breathe in such conditions, we require extra energy. Why are double-layered plastic sheets used for the tents and the grounds? Double-layered plastic sheets are used
for the tents and the ground so that the air between the layers keep the people in the mountains warm.
It is time to sum up what we have learned up till now. Adventure sports require high level of physical activities and specialized gear. In rock climbing, the climbers use light gear to climb a natural or an artificial rock. One needs to keep certain tips in mind while rock climbing. Rappelling is an activity of descending down the slope with the help of a rope. On the mountains, we require extra energy. Double layered tents are used in the mountains. I hope you all found this video very interesting. Thank you for learning.